Yeah,
How may I take your order today?
I don't wanna. It's hard.
Well, then we'll be sitting here for a while, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
But like, what do you say after the welcome part?
2 blanket
Say,
books.
today we are going to be doing this. My name is Gabe. And then Rachel and I will introduce ourselves.
Okay. All right. I'm just nervous.
You got this.
Welcome back to Blanket Fort Books. This is episode 11, where we talk about some year-end things and also about just some fun, total blackout. I don't remember why we are recording this podcast episode here. Over to Whitney to take over.
Great intro. Yeah, we're going to be talking about our favorite and least favorite things that we watched and read and indulged in 2020. And we are also going to be discussing things, our media wish list for 2021. So, yeah, I'm Whitney.
And I'm
This
Gabe,
is Rachel.
And that's
I
Rachel.
am Rachel. Whitney, stop trying to be me. I'm just
That's
kidding.
Rachel.
Yeah, I'm Rachel.
Yes. But first, let us start this episode off, how we always do, by talking about what we're into.
Oh, I'm going to go first because I either think that you guys are going to greatly appreciate it or not know what the heck I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's one or the other. I have been passionate about buying movies. No, I've just been desperate in buying movies through Amazon and YouTube and getting the extras that don't just come on your basic subscriptions.
Oh.
So
What?
I was looking for one of my childhood favorites, which YouTube did have, but I had to buy it for $15. And I did with no consideration. I just knew I needed it. Slappy and the Stinkers.
Oh, that's not what I expected. I don't really
What did
remember
you-
that.
The heck is Slappy and the Stinkers?
Well, clearly you guys are not living your best life if you don't know Slappy and the Stinkers. It is a movie about a group of
Wait,
children.
I have a... Wait, let me guess.
Okay,
It's about a hockey team.
no.
Okay. Because slappers and then like a stinky gym bag, and I thought like the gym bag might come to life, and it's like the gym bag and the hockey stick falling in love. Oh my god, I just wrote the greatest movie ever.
So that's the sequel that has nothing to do with the first one. That's what that will be. Gabe, do you have any idea?
I think it was a cartoon, and is
No.
there... Okay, maybe not a cartoon. Is there a dog in it?
Like, yeah.
Is it Slappy? Is he a dog?
No. Well, kind of. He's a sea dog. He's a seal or a sea lion.
Seal.
Oh, he's
So-
Slappy because he's got the little flippers.
And the Stinkers are the group of children who they go to this aquarium place and they see him and they're like, he's so sad. This sucks. And then they see that he has like a mean owner guy, director of this aquarium place. So they sneak him out and bring it back to like their school, which they live at, but it's not like a rich school anyway. And that they have to like deal with this, like hiding this Slappy, and he reeks like fish and constantly wants to eat fish.
Wait, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, well, I own it now, so you're gonna see it again.
This is bringing back so many memories.
And I'm forgetting the main adults' names. Maybe you're gonna do a quick little search. But anyway, they like at one point they bring the sea lion, sea dog to go into their like principal's hot tub, but because so they unplug it and add a bunch of salt and make it like a cold salty tub. And it's funny. And he has a dog.
Oh
And
my
then-
god, I've definitely seen this.
It's so good. And then at one point, I say we, I feel like I'm one of the kids. At one point they make one of their friends take him home and he has to like sleep with him in his bed, and the seal keeps making all these gross coughing noises, so his mom's like, oh, my child, you have such a bad cough. So gives him some cough medicine and he hates it, but then the seal takes it and gets like drunk on cough medicine and then goes ballistic in his bedroom. Anyway,
Amazing.
It's good.
A fun tragic fact I can tell you after I Googled it is that it only made $80,837 in the box office.
Oh,
That's enough to buy
understand.
two good cars.
I probably am one of the only people who liked it as much as I do, and to date, still like it. It is a masterpiece, and
Well.
it should be a requirement for all children to watch.
Since I'm on the Wikipedia page, would you like to know what Rotten Tomatoes has to say about it?
Oh, I know they're going to be totally wrong, but yes.
As of July 2014, this film holds a 0% rotten rating on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 0.
that's impressive.
Did you buy the worst children's movie of all time? And I'm just joking. I don't think I've seen this, so I'm not gonna say that. But
Well, it's nostalgic, so that makes it like 12 times better. But I had it on VHS. I used to watch it all the time. That and Baby Genius.
there's like no information really about this movie from what I can see. It's just I
It's
see
a
a
cult
plot.
favorite.
I just see a plot in the
Yeah.
cast in the box office.
Oh, yeah. What are the adults' names who play the teachers?
I don't know.
Never mind. Doesn't matter. Well, it does because they did brilliant performances.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Jennifer Coolidge as Harriet. Oh,
Yeah.
we love Jennifer Coolidge.
And who does
Yes,
Morgan?
we do love Jennifer Coolidge. BD Wong.
I've only seen him in this, but he's exquisite.
Yeah, what he doing? He's 60. He doesn't look 60. Oh, that's pictures from 2008.
Anyway, that's my thing I'm into this week and for the rest of my life and up until this point in my life. Slappy and the Stinkers.
Okay.
Well, that's very exciting. I am just on a deep dive now. Oh my god, BD Wong voiced Li Shang in Mulan.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry, I didn't have a good enough reaction for that.
Yeah, there was no reaction. I was excited. All right, moving on.
He's in Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World franchise playing the same character. So that's actually
He's had a career.
that's cool that he was in the original and then he came back for Jurassic World.
He clearly peaked in Slappy, but
Yeah. Well, what I'm into, I was going to talk about last week, but I waited for you, Rachel, because I know you're going to be excited. And I also know that you're already aware that I experienced this. And I want to talk about Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens.
okay, good.
Rachel has
Good.
been telling me to read this, and then I
Good.
had the audiobook on hold on my library app, and when I first put it on hold, the wait time was like 60 weeks or something. But it finally became mine, and I listened to it, and I cried, and it
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh,
So it is about this little girl who has a very toxic family, and she grows up on this marsh, and the marsh pretty much raises her, and she raises herself, and she just ends up living in this marsh and collecting feathers, and it's just so cute. But she has some very, very hard times, and everyone abandons her, and it's devastating. And I've never rooted for a main character more than I have for Kaya.
oh,
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Every time someone new would come into her life, I was like, you better treat her right. And then they didn't. And then I cried. Oh, it was amazing.
yeah. I remember when I was listening to the audiobook, every time somebody new came, I was like, get off of her property now.
Yeah, I was like,
her
don't you
marsh.
dare.
Like, go away.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it was so cool because it also, so it's set in the 60s. And it would also, every few chapters, it would flip ahead a few years. And there was a murder mystery going on. So that was also fun because you were like, how does this connect to the main character and what's going on? And then the guy who was murdered, we meet him and we're like, oh my God, how does this happen? And it was just crazy. And we the novel takes place over the main character Kaya's like entire life, so we just get to watch her grow up and become an adult and then like make something of herself, become successful against all odds, and I'm emotional. It was amazing.
It is so good.
Highly, highly recommend. Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to listen to that.
Yeah, it was, loved it. The audiobook is really, really good too, so I recommend that.
It is really good. I spent too much money on it, but it is so good, and I have it forever.
I patiently waited for 60 weeks from the library.
My nanny gifted me the book, like because we always pass books around in the family. So she's like, read this, and then I purchased the audiobook for way too much money and never read the book.
I do that all the time. That's fair.
Yeah.
So Gabe, what you been doing?
So I am literally in the middle of a film that I can't, like, I'm gonna finish it, but it's scary. So I have to watch it in little bursts and get back to it when I'm feeling a little less anxious. And that's just how I am with scary movies typically. But this movie is called His House, and it's on Netflix. And it is a 2020 horror thriller. You wouldn't think it was a horror thriller, judging by the synopsis, which is it tells the story of a refugee couple from South Sudan struggling to adjust to their new life in an English town that has an evil lurking beneath the surface. It's pretty vague, and this could just be, this could be nonfiction. However, it is quite twisted, and it's got some scary jump scares, the kind I don't like. But I'm really, like, very quickly I got invested and wanted to find out what happens to these people. So I'm like halfway through the movie, and I might finish it tonight, but I just know I'm loving it so far. It's just difficult for me.
Ooh, yeah, you told me to watch that, and I definitely will. But...
I think you'll like it. It's a lot like, it's kind of like a haunted house horror movie type thing. But
okay, a haunted house is my favorite horror setting.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is, except it's about like refugees that are being placed in a, like, what do you call it? Like a townhouse built for refugees. And it's not too great. It's a shady area, and suddenly weird things start happening, and the community is scary. That makes it extra scary. So I would highly recommend.
Well, I can't wait to hear your thoughts when you finish it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll give it another try tonight, and then hopefully I can make it through the scary stuff.
Nice.
Maybe I'll watch Midsummer right after.
Oh my gosh, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, but like if I got through one scary movie, maybe I can just watch another scary one right after, because you said there's no jump scares in Midsummer. So
there's no jump scares. It is very it's a slow burn. But it gets there. And it's devastating.
Yeah, His House wasn't. It had 2 jump scares in 10 seconds, 15 minutes into the movie.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh! Yeah, that was frightening and rude.
Oh no, that is so rude.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that one.
Should we start off with our favorite things from 2020? Do we want to go around and say our favorite thing?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say one thing that kind of shocked me when I was doing some research. Like, I was just looking at lists of things that were released in 2020 that were awesome. So I was like, tell me all the TV shows released, tell me all the movies, tell me all the books, and I'll just go through, see what I've watched, and then go from there. I have watched no movies that were released in 2020 and read no books that were released in 2020. Nothing new. Nothing at all. TV shows, on the other hand, completed. A lot of them.
Well, I have a situation. So I already discussed this with Gabe because he did his favorite things and least favorite things that came out in 2020. I did my favorite things and least favorite things that I consumed in 2020, because that's like when I do like my favorite and least favorite like books of 2020 on my booktube channel. A little self promo, go subscribe. That's how I would do it, not things that came out. So I think I might have done it wrong, but I'm gonna stick to it.
That just
Stick to it,
indicates
girl.
I'm the only one that gets around, clearly.
Well, I did watch a lot of movies that came out in 2020, and I read a good amount of books that came out in 2020. I just did not
Limit
focus
yourself.
my list on that. I just did things that I consumed personally. So we're going to be a little all over the place, but that's okay. This is how I wanted to do it.
Someone share their version, because I don't want to go first.
Well, I'm going to start with my TV faves, and they mostly consist of Netflix, but not only.
Go for it.
So I finished BoJack Horseman when that came out, what seems like a million years ago.
Was
but
that even this year?
It was. I did check. Yes, it came out like January, like 2nd
That was
of 2020.
That was 2
So-
years ago.
It was 15 years ago.
Oh,
And all I have to say, without going into every season and how much I love Will Arnett and how much I love BoJack Horseman and how much I relate to BoJack Horseman, I love that show. It wrapped itself up well, I think.
I agree.
And I shed a tear at the end of this adult cartoon. Like, how?
Only a tier?
No, it was a moment. I'll just leave it at that because I'm not going to go into how much I cried
There-
over BoJack.
The last 2 seasons of that show were just so good. It was like
Oh,
crying every 3 episodes sort of thing. It just,
it's so good.
yeah.
So that was the kickoff to 2020 was the release of BoJack.
Well, that's pretty good.
Since then, I have watched a lot of Big Mouth, which did not all come out this year, but a new season did. I tried to get Whitney to watch it the other day, and she just straight up refused, which I get.
Sorry, I really hate adult cartoons.
Well, this one's even worse because it's like, it's intense.
It's like a deep-rooted fear.
I totally understand. So I'm not going to say that Whitney should watch it, and I can't remember if Gabe's ever listened to me to actually watch Big Mouth.
I've watched the episodes with you.
Okay, well, there, you watch more.
That was like 2.
Also, 2020 brought us the Forensic Files reboot
Wait, really?
that we know. I know.
I didn't know that.
2020 felt like it was 12,000 years long. But yes, Forensic Files reboot happened. And to be honest, I've actually only captured a couple episodes of the newer one. And I don't want to say it was the absolute best because, of course, anyone who's obsessed with Forensic Files, like me and Whitney are, the narrator had passed away. So the new one is just not going to compare. It's just, I think they made a good choice with how they went, but it will never compare to the ones that you watch as you're falling asleep and while you're sleeping and wake up and tell Netflix that, yes, you're still there and watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also started a show from Amazon Prime called The Hunters. And it's a very interesting premise for anyone who hasn't started to watch it yet. It is based on people who were, both Nazis in the Second World War and also prisoners in the Second World War after the war who are still trying to find each other and kill each other. So there's people who are still hunting the Jewish people and people who are hunting the Nazis back and trying to eliminate them.
Oh my.
It is a very over-the-top, very cinematic, very intense, a lot of violence from the get-go, but it is very interesting.
That sounds good.
It is good. Like, I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've ever seen, but I really don't know how to compare it. It's just kind of, it's a different artsy way to portray it. And it's kind of funny, too, which is weird because the subject matter. But yeah, that's my few things that I came up with and really enjoyed in 2020. If there's anything good in 2020, those were that.
That's
Okay.
awesome. I'll go ahead with my favorites. I did a bit of a list. I won't go too into most of them. A lot of them I've already talked about, but I'll just kind of list some off that I've already talked about, and then I will go into my all-time favorite book that I read in 2020. Did not come out in 2020. So My favorite TV show, even though I just watched it of 2020, was The Queen's Gambit. 10 out of 10. Amazing. Still obsessed. I didn't really watch too much TV in 2020. I don't know why. Or if I did, it was in January and I've forgotten everything.
You watched Euphoria this year, but it came out last year.
Oh, I did watch Euphoria this year. Well,
Yeah.
Euphoria is also on that list. It was really, really good. Excited for more Euphoria coming. Also, Haunting of Hill House, I really liked.
I was too scared to watch that.
It was scary. I think I still have an episode left, I'm not going to lie. But I enjoyed it a lot. Movies. My all-time favorite movie from this year did not come out this year. I'll stop prefacing that, but was Little Women. I can't stop watching it. I'm so obsessed. Also loved Midsummer. I watched Carol for the first time this year, and that is an all-time favorite movie.
That's going back 5 years.
But I watched it for the first time. This is how I'm doing it. Mind your business.
I'm just gonna roast. I'm just roasting.
No. Anyway, so I watched a lot of movies this year because Gabe and I had like a movie roulette where we would let Google pick a number out of like a long list of movies we had, and then we just watch it. It was really fun. That's pretty much it for movies. Oh, also 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Incredible. That one, like I think about it like every day.
I know that you've
so
definitely mentioned
good.
it. I need that.
Yeah,
We
you
should
do- you
post
do need it.
A quick little summary of this in our podcast info, just so everyone can remember what they have to go and watch.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we can start that up in our Discord's recommendations and feedback section channel.
Yeah, we should post our Discord for
Yeah.
people to join.
So
that'll be a thing.
there'll be a little link, a little URL. You can just click it and join up.
Yeah.
If Whitney
very
remembers to put it there.
Oh,
I
shade.
will.
Shade.
Shut your mouth.
Did you put
feel
the?
it. attacked.
Doesn't everyone tweet angry things?
I have a question.
specifically at Whitney? I'm
What?
just kidding.
Did you put a link to that interesting read in the description of our last podcast episode?
No, I didn't.
There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Whitney
I'm
has
one
been
person.
voted off the podcast.
I mean,
just kidding.
I'm
Whitney, I need to do a good shout out. Whitney does like so much social media. Actually, all of the social media
It's true.
comes out of Whitney's beautiful head and wonderful fingers, which makes it go onto the internet.
Thank you.
Gabe does the editing because he does those things so well. I do nothing but show up, but that's all that I need to do because I don't know what else to do.
I'm just mean and saved that for ammunition.
You are very mean. Gabe is very sneaky, and it upsets me. He like holds on to things, and he'll be like 5 years down the road, he'll be like, "Well, remember this one thing that you did?" And I was like, "You have never mentioned that."
Yeah,
Sneaky.
Gabe's good at that.
Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my favorite books of 2020, which I read some good books in 2020. So I read Hunger by Roxane Gay, which was a memoir by Roxane Gay, who is an incredible feminist writer. It's about body dysmorphia, eating disorders, huge trigger warning, but it was absolutely incredible. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, another memoir, because we love a memoir, which is about Jeanette Walls' childhood, which was so, so beautiful.
Did you read
another one
Educated this year?
I still haven't read that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Top of my list. I will read that very, very soon, I
What
promise.
was that?
Educated by Tara Westover, I think.
yeah.
Rachel lent it to me and I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay.
My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I think this is one that I read back in January. And I only gave this book 4 stars. It wasn't even like an all-time favorite, but I have not been able to stop thinking about it. It's about a young girl, a 15-year-old girl who gets groomed by her English teacher, and they have a relationship, and it's about her. It kind of tells the story in flashbacks of when she was 15 and then when she's an adult woman, and the effects that like relationship still had on her. And oh my gosh, it was devastating. So good. Okay, one more book and then I'll shut up. So my all-time favorite book of 2020 was Know My Name by Chanel Miller. And Chanel Miller is the woman who was sexually assaulted by Brock Turner. And this is her memoir, and it was absolutely devastating and so beautifully written. I listened to the audiobook of this as well, and she narrates it, and there is a part during the end where she cries, and I cried, and it was so incredibly beautiful. This is like a must read. Memoirs are definitely like my favorite thing to read, and this is my favorite one that I've ever read. I don't think anything will ever top it. So beautiful. And that case is just so unjust and unfair. And that was a very difficult book to read, but a very, very important one.
Whoa.
Yeah. I also read a lot of romance this year on a different note. I like got into the romance genre and like I'm here for it. If anyone has any recommendations, let me know.
Your Goodreads is giving me a little flash every once in a while of like, Whitney read this and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And I'm like, all I see is the cover, and I'm like, and then, wow, like you have descended.
I just got really into like cheesy, sexy romances, and they all
You read A Dangerous Age and did not put that on your top 2020 reads.
I did read A Dangerous Age.
I'm sorry, but that was fantastic.
Oh my God.
This is now turned into a podcast starring 2 60-year-old women who read Harlequin novels. And that's what we talk about. I
read Harlequin novels. I read Regency romances, and I read modern day romances featuring diverse main characters and heavy on the consent. Those are the kind of romances I like, not friggin' cowboy romances. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure you gave one of those like 4 out of 5 stars, and I saw it like today.
I have never read a cowboy romance.
Well, there was one, like the ones that have like the hot buff guys on the front and nothing else, and it's called like Dirty Desire by J.P. Fredrinson.
I've never read one called Dirty Desire. The ones you're talking about are by Talia Hibbert, and all the main characters are like so diverse and beautiful. The first one in her Ravenswood series that I just finished. The first book features an autistic Black main character, and it is such amazing representation. So it just happens to have a buff dude and a hot girl on the cover.
So I own 2 intense romance novels that Gabe is referencing right now, and I received them secondhand from Gabe's mother.
I think you told me about that a long time ago.
They're still somewhere in my possession. I've never read them. I just remember like flipping through them and being like, ooh, spicy, and then just never read them.
Incredible.
Yeah, well, those are for old people.
Well, I'm going to come back here next week, and I'm going to have a whole list of cowboy romances that I've read and loved.
If you just...
And I'm not ashamed.
Like
I think we should choose that as a read-along. Like, we're just going to have to choose a cowboy romance, and we're just going to have to read it and pick it apart.
Like, there's a place called Pornhub.com that I feel like if...
Yeah, we're doing the pre-Pornhub version.
Yeah, like if those people who like those books knew that Pornhub was a thing, there's equally...
It's like soft story.
I feel like there's some good stories to be found.
Do you know the suspense they put you through in a book? Way better than what Pornhub can provide.
If you can find me like a great video on Pornhub that's like Regency era and the guy like kisses her hand and it's like the most sensual experience, like great. I'll watch that.
I don't think that happens very often.
I want to know what the girl's thinking, and I want to know all her insecurities as this happens. And how she overcomes that and sleeps with the cowboy or whatever.
Yeah, same.
So screw you, Gabe.
Man, I'm going to
Let's not shame women for liking things. Thank you. Goodbye.
Gabe, what did you like about 2020 things?
I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're not even gonna listen. But
Yeah,
what
you
did
don't have to.
like?
Like, I'm good because your lists were thick.
No, go for it.
Name
Go for it.
one thing.
Whitney's cat apples.
Yeah, she was a pretty great release of 2020. She was
Yeah.
renewed for 2020.
Well, I mean, she was
Yeah.
probably born in 2017.
Yeah, but she got renewed every year. That's what I'm going to start saying instead of birthdays. Is not you're
Yeah.
another year older. You've been renewed for another season.
I love that.
Yeah.
But Gabe, you had something planned to talk about, and you need to talk about it now.
Yeah, but now I feel like I need to pick something more roast worthy because now I'm just aggressive for no reason.
Whoa.
Well, it's too late now because we're here.
Okay. Well, there's only one good thing. If there's just one thing to take away from 2020 for me, and you've heard it from me before, but I got to talk to you about the number one album of the year.
You finally finished Ariana Grande.
You did it. It's Ariana's new album.
She is your number one 2020 experience, correct?
Well,
Can't believe it.
if I said yes, would you accept that answer?
No.
No.
Actually,
Because what if, like, it might be.
it's not.
It's not. No.
Can I guess what it is?
You know what it is. Because it
Is
hasn't
it-
changed.
Oh, sorry. I see my cat stretching in the background, and it made me cry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're snuggling.
Wait,
Two donuts.
did Laura Marling make it on your list? Because she had songs for my daughter come out this year.
Yeah, she did. She did make my list. Yeah.
Okay, is your number one Sawayama?
Yeah. It still
Yes.
is.
That's such a good album.
Yeah. The album is called Sawayama, and it was released by Japanese-British singer-songwriter Rina Sawayama. And it was released pretty early this year, like February or something. So I had a lot of time to think about it, and I was thinking, will anything top this? And no, but not really. It's like full of unique production with tons of influence from 2000s radio hits, metal, and even J-pop. The album's subject matter deals with her childhood, growing up in a Japanese family, and what it was like moving to London. I think everyone should listen to this, like, really, because it's just one of those albums that has everything. And that's all what I want to say, really. Just stream
What's your favorite?
by Sawayama.
What was your favorite song off the album?
That's a good question. I think the one that has unexpectedly latched into my soul, like I think there's two actually that I'd pick out. Bad Friend and Chosen Family.
Those were the two I was about to say.
Those really just put your hooks in you, but then also like even I'm just trying to think, like Excess and Shut the Fuck Up and like Tokyo Love Hotel. Those are all great. Love Me for Me, that's a good one. They're all, it's
that
just
is a good one.
bangers, all of them front to back, total singles. Like Dynasty,
Yeah.
opening track. Oh my God. Evanescence influence. Like it's just beautiful, and I want to listen to it on repeat forever. You know, well, I guess while we're here, like I think I haven't finished my album rankings, but just to give you some standouts to add on top of that, if you haven't listened to Fiona Apple's new album, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, you definitely should, because that's a thick album of wonderful lyricism and really fun piano playing. So if you ever loved Fiona Apple, or you know, just want to get into some of those political jams from this year, Fiona Apple really served on that one.
And Gabe, do you release this list anywhere / do you have a Spotify playlist that people can go reach your rankings?
I actually do have a Spotify playlist that I just kind of fill up called Best of 2020, now that you mention it, but that's actually just been for my like own personal use. But since someone actually asked, I could theoretically just tweet the link to to that
I think you
playlist.
should. So then anyone who wants to catch up on anything that Gabe thinks is of value for 2020.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, like I will usually I just throw together a Topsters infographic thing with like a grid of my top albums, but I guess now that I am of influence and have a platform, I'll just maybe tweet this image.
Oh, I do have a very important update for us Blanket Fort booksters.
Yes.
Is that what we're going to call ourselves? Booksters?
Blanket Fort besties.
Okay, Blanket
I like
Fort
that
besties.
better.
I played our podcast for a very close friend, and we have officially influenced an individual to follow our advice, Gabe's advice on watching Zoolander.
Huh?
We have influenced somebody listening to our podcast and now wants to go watch Zoolander.
Oh, I didn't think I had like an overly glowing review for that one, but I guess if they liked the things I said, I think there was a part where I was like, well, if you like these things, you'll probably love Zoolander. So that's good.
Immediately, once that happened, the person came back and was like, let's watch it tonight. So I just thought that was a good update. We are officially influencers.
Okay. No, that's
Amazing.
It's good to have an opinion be trusted. That's always a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling.
We also have some low-key merch.
Oh, you mean like the gifts that you made for us?
Yeah, I got Blanket Fort books, mugs made for Rachael, Gabe, and I, and I'm very excited about them.
Mm-hmm.
It was an awesome Christmas gift, which I unwrapped.
Oh, yeah. That is
and wept.
Unparalleled.
You did not.
I wept later.
Okay. I believe you. So should we move on to our most... Oh, my God. There's a cat.
Yeah, I picked up a cat.
I'm still at my parents', so Gabe is still watching my cats, and they're so cute.
She's been kind of nice today.
Oh, I miss her so much.
Yeah, through the webcam feed, Whitney is seeing me holding her precious baby apples like a little infant. She's looking a little grumpy today.
Look at her 5,000 toes.
She has so many toes.
She has 22 beans in total. A polydactyl cat with mittens.
I only have... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have 2 cats and Gabe has 1 cat, and they all have extra toes. We love our polydactyl cats.
Oh, yeah, she's just great to squeeze. Like, I guess I'm serious when I say that apples is one of the best things of 2020. Like, she's the best thing of any year. Because she's just like, you squeeze her and it's like you just went through a dryer with a million dryer sheets. Like, it's impossible to describe.
Yeah, she is a highlight.
When I was going through the worst of 2020 for myself, 2020 was the worst of everything, I think, in general.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
But to leave all of the political and virusy news aside, the worst thing that happened to me personally was I don't know if this song was released this year or if it just caught on to TikTok, which then was contagioned over to Instagram. It would be the Oh No song by Capone. That can go.
I didn't expect that to bother you so much.
Maybe it's just for the sheer amount of times that I hear that when I'm just scrolling to see what's up in the world, and that is the worst thing that's personally affected me.
This is why I don't want TikTok, because it'll ruin music for me.
But the thing is, that song on TikTok then sneezed its way through to Instagram. It sneezed and then Instagram caught it, and now Instagram has it, and it's just nowhere safe.
I think I might have seen a TikTok video that was shared on my Twitter feed that had that song.
It's the true pandemic that no one's fighting.
I would fight it if I knew how, but I think any efforts are futile at this moment.
So that was the only thing I have to say.
Is that the only? Is that the worst thing?
That's your only.
It's really been bugging me. And it's
Oh my god.
Like that's kind of how I
Well,
felt about
that's
Shape
really
of
funny.
You by Ed Sheeran. That's like,
Oh my god.
that's like the
Yeah.
same, that makes me have the same reaction because it certainly sneezed, is putting it politely, is what that song did on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
Well-
TikTok in general ruins music, but anyway.
it does. I agree. But I do still use TikTok because I am 80 and I am also 12. So
Yep. Good old mix in there.
So I have a bit of a list of things that disappointed me in 2020, but it's not as long as my favorites of 2020. So I think that's a good sign.
Are we going to have hot takes on this list? Because I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no hot takes, so really give us like full serve on these hot takes.
Well, I don't want to be.
Make them
Okay,
sizzle.
I don't want to be too spicy, but we'll get a little spicy.
Yeah, this is the exciting part.
So the first thing is something that I did to myself. This obviously wasn't going to be something that I enjoyed.
Okay.
But I did it, and that was I watched the entirety of the 50 Shades movies in like a day and a half
Whoa.
while I was working.
How to
And they
rot
were
your
horrible.
brain. Yeah.
They were worse than I thought they would be. This was my first time experiencing them, and they were pretty damn bad. And I just don't know how anyone looks at that relationship and thinks, oh my god, like that's the dream. Like it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But we all knew that. Oh, Gabe is gonna appreciate this one. We watched The Lovely Bones this year.
That was this year, not 2019. Oh my gosh.
No, that was this year. I went through my letterboxd.
I think that's the oldest movie besides Slappy and the Stinkers that we've talked about this episode.
It was
what you were gonna
bad,
say,
and
Emma.
I'm sad. Because it stars Stanley Tucci and Saoirse Ronan, and it was like one of the worst things I've ever seen.
That movie is tone deaf and disgraceful, and
I remember
Oh my
when that
God.
came out when we were in middle school and everyone flipped out and loved it.
Oh, it was so bad. When he like fell down the hill.
yeah, and that was, and then later revealed that that was a last second inclusion because test audiences thought he didn't get what was coming to him enough on screen. So he was like, let's just add a FX shot of him falling to his death for a stupid reason, just cuz. And then there was
Such
like,
a bad movie.
wasn't there like a potential for a cool twist at the end, and then it didn't happen?
Yeah, there was a lot that did not happen.
And it's like 3 hours almost for some reason. Let's
Yes,
just throw
oh
that
my
in
God,
there.
it was rough.
It's like
It was
2.5 hours of
Yeah.
CGI fields and I don't know, painful to watch creep moments.
Yeah. The last movie that I have to talk about is a bit of a spicy hot take, and that is Bombshell, which is about Fox News and the sexual harassment allegations. And I kind of hated this movie. The more that I think about it, the more that I dislike it, because the subject matter was not handled correctly at all. Like, you could really tell that this movie was made by a man. It was just not sensitive. It didn't do the victims or like anyone involved in this justice. And I really, really disliked it, which is a shame because I like a lot of the actors in it. But
When I
very
watched,
bad.
I don't really remember it enough at this point to feel upset. Because I'm sure if you told me all the problematic things about it, I would totally be feeling the same way you do. But it just wasn't a very memorable film anyway. So I don't really remember
Yeah.
what happens.
like, it wasn't great to begin with. Like, there was nothing spectacular about it anyway.
Hair styling is the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Yes. I don't have any least favorite TV shows because I didn't watch any, I don't think.
It's
I
good.
don't know.
It's good to steer clear of a long 10-hour investment that doesn't turn out well.
Yes, very true. My most disappointing books of 2020. This one actually did come out in 2020, so
Oh,
I need a
good.
little pat on the back.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of universal. And this is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, the beloved Hunger Games trilogy that we all read like in middle school. And this follows President Snow, and it was so bad, so boring. I read usually like at least 10 books a month, and this was the only thing I read that month, and I didn't even finish it. Like, it took me like a month and a half to read this one book because it was like lackluster, and it just felt very like, I don't know, like thrown together. And of all the people who deserved like a prequel or an origin story, it was definitely not President Snow. And it wasn't even like an origin story. There was no reason behind it. It was just like he was born evil and this happened and everything was shit. And it was just not a good book at all.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Very disappointing because I was very excited for this prequel. But before the book even came out, it was like the rights for the movie were bought. So maybe it'll be a good movie. It's going to be a musical because there's literally singing on every single page.
Yeah, that's
So
confusing.
I will watch the movie and we'll see how that's going to go. But I feel like it would make a better movie than a book, honestly.
Yeah, because it'll be shorter than that gigantic
Jesus,
book of
yeah.
who knows what happens, because I haven't read it, but it doesn't sound like an amazing time.
Yeah. Well, that's all I want to talk about for my most disappointing things. There were some other, like, obviously, like, mediocre, below average books that I read, but we'll leave it at that. So what about you, Gabe?
So what I wanted to talk about, which I kind of prepared the most for here, I will reiterate that I had the privilege of being able to avoid trash in general this year. Nothing really jumps out at me in the media I consumed as being like completely below average. But what I think I'd like to comment on is the disappointing and disastrous launch that many people on the internet by this point are familiar with of one of the most anticipated games of the last near decade, Polish studio CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. This is their repeatedly delayed follow-up title to what I think many would agree can be considered a modern classic, The Witcher 3. They did also adapt the Polish Witcher novels into the video game franchise, which have been amazingly successful, and that's what gave it the spotlight in the Western market like it has today, with the Netflix spin-off and so forth. Cyberpunk 2077 is based on a tabletop pen and paper RPG first created in the 1980s by Mike Pondsmith. And after the announcement of the video game adaptation, Witcher fans were generally excited to see the studio go toward a sci-fi direction in which you get to create a character from the ground up and get, hopefully, the same treatment as the Witcher games. So many years passed with 3 delays, the studio self-admitting the employees were being subjected to crunch for over a year prior to its release date, working around the clock to get everything done in time for the deadline. They were criticized for it, as I think a studio should rightly be criticized in today's industry, because it's been pretty much confirmed that extended crunch leading up to a release does not create a better project. And this wasn't the only thing Studio CD Projekt Red was criticized for during its development. I don't want to get too into it, but I gotta touch upon the controversial and downright edgy marketing that this game received. A staple to the cyberpunk universe would be augmenting your body with interchangeable machinery and appendages and whatnot. And CD Projekt Red would not leave certain little fun ideas alone. And I think you might, if you're following me, appendages and things with machines. Do you see where this is going?
I think so.
Okay. So they would not stop boasting that the character creator will allow you to select your special zone from a list. to build it to your preference. So you get, like, regardless of your body type, you can slap on a thing or like not a thing, and you can
Special zone.
yeah, like your special area is customizable in Cyberpunk 2077 for literally nothing but cosmetic reasons to see basically on that character creation screen. However, it was kind of seemed clear that their hearts weren't in exactly the right place, when marketing also included artwork of an in-game advertisement as another attempt at using the queer and trans community as a punchline and for hypersexualization and supposed shock value. Look it up. I don't really want to talk about it because it's kind of frustrating. But the disappointing factor here, after all of this development from 2012 and looking forward to it, this game came out after so many delays and promises on, I think, December 10th. And the particular state that it was in when it came out resulted in its eventual removal from the PlayStation digital storefront completely, until CD Projekt Red and Sony agree that it is in a playable state, because people wanted all the refunds, because it turned into a slideshow, hilarious glitches, like way worse than like Skyrim or a Fallout game before it. It was just like a tragedy, especially on the PS4 and Xbox One versions. If you have it on a newer system or a PC, it works actually kind of okay. So people were demanding refunds, and I kind of saw this coming a long time ago, like something with that much time put into it and mix-ups and weird PR moves had me kind of suspicious. So I was cautiously waiting to see how this would turn out, as they were pretty vague up until like the last couple years. But it's kind of sad, and they'll work on fixing it. But damn, there were some missteps. Too bad.
That is upsetting.
That sounds very expensive for the company.
Oh yes, I think this game like at least cost them like $100 million. They got Keanu Reeves to play a main character and like motion capture and voice record. It's absurd.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Well, wish list. Do we want to go over what we're excited for or hopeful for?
Yes. Do you want to start?
Yes, I will basically just run through my list. Some things I've already mentioned. The Hunters has been renewed again, so
That's great.
gotta commit. A little thing, now that BoJack Horseman has left my life, I've been replacing it with other cartoons, one being Tuca and Birdie. It's okay. I don't even really love that show that much, but it did get renewed, so
What?
I'm happy that I have.
Excuse me, is it renewed? I thought it got canceled.
I just read that it was renewed.
Is that the one by the same animators as BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, and it's Tuca and Birdie, and they're lady roommates.
And there's one season right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just got renewed for another one.
I'm pretty sure that
Maybe
was...
not on the platform, maybe not on Netflix, but
Yeah, Netflix canceled them.
yeah, I read they were renewed.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that's exciting because I usually don't like starting a show that I know is canceled because I'll be really disappointed. But that was a show after BoJack I was kind of interested in seeing, but...
I mean, don't get your hopes up. I'm just happy that I read. Maybe it's a lie.
Yeah, you
Anyway,
might want to check.
one that I know a lot of people in my life are loving and excited was renewed is The Mandalorian. So we have that coming in 2021. I have not even seen the first bunch because I'm not really into Star Wars, but I've been told I have to be. So we shall see.
If there's any Star Wars media I'll be trying anytime soon, it might be to watch The Mandalorian.
Archer has been renewed for another season, which has brought me so much joy.
Archer's long.
It's in their 12th season is what they're going to be going into.
Oh
this
my
year.
goodness. That show's been going for 12 years.
Yeah, Sex Education renewed again, and I
Ooh,
love that show.
that's
I'm
a good
in
show.
suspense. You is coming out with season 3 this year. Guilty pleasure.
Oh, get ready.
Oh no.
and just for Whitney, SpongeBob is renewed again.
Oh, that's great.
Just so you know. So that's those are the things that made my list of what I'm kind of probably going to get myself into this 2021 year.
That's exciting.
Yay. And I mean, like, if I could actually have a wish list and hope that Santa brings it to me next year, like Pirates of the Caribbean, but the one I wrote.
Yeah, I'd pay for that. I'd fund that fully, because before On Stranger Tides was released, when Rachel was very young, she wrote an entire plot for a good Pirates of the Caribbean 4, and I'm sad that that didn't happen, because it was good.
Yeah, it was. Oh, anyway, that's my wish.
R.I.P. to that wish.
Yeah.
You don't know what 2021 has to offer for Rachel.
On my list are some books and some book adaptations that I'm very excited for. So we have obviously the Dune movie. I can't wait to see, with Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet. Also Chaos Walking, which is based on the Chaos Walking trilogy. That was it's a YA dystopian that was super popular back in the day. And this is starring Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, and I am so excited. The trailer came out recently and it looks really, really good. And the Shadow and Bone television series, which is based on the Grisha World by Leigh Bardugo. The trailer for that just came out. It's being adapted by Netflix, and it sounds and looks really, really good. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, but I'm really excited about that too. And I think that one comes out in March.
Netflix cancels everything, so I try not to get too excited about Netflix shows until they're on their season 2, and then I'm gonna start watching it now.
I know, and I'm really bummed because Sci-Fi, the network, was adapting my favorite young adult series, The Raven Cycle, and that got canceled, and I'm still just crying over that. So I don't want to get my hopes up over too many adaptations. Aside from that, some books that I am really excited for. The first one is one that I've already pre-ordered, and that is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. If this book interests you at all, I highly recommend you go pre-order it, because this author has been having a ton of trouble with their publisher, not paying them and not getting any royalties or any money for their book at all. And they were having a really hard time getting it off the shelves too. I think they have found a different publisher, and there is an edition that can be ordered, but make sure that you order the right one. Oh, I'm so sorry if you can hear dogs barking and yelling, because I can. Then we have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, which is the prequel to The Hate U Give, which is an incredible book and an incredible movie about police brutality. And this follows the main character's father when he was young, and I am so excited to read this. I loved that book, and it was so heartbreaking and so good. Ooh, okay. Also, The Bride Bet by Tessa Dare, which is the 4th book in my favorite Regency romance series, which was supposed to come out early this year, but it got pushed back to February of next year, so cannot wait to read that romance novel. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which is a female-female romance. This is a young adult somewhere.
There's adults.
There are some adults in it. And this is by the same author who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is probably my favorite romance. That one is, I feel like I have said this synopsis so many times, but it is the son of the first female president of the United States and the Prince of England, and they get into a relationship, and it is so beautiful. Casey McQuiston's coming out with a new book, and I cannot wait. And those are the things that I am excited for in 2021. If any of them get canceled or pushed back, I am going to be devastated.
Oh no. I hope they don't.
Oh no. Oh no.
I do have to quickly update. Tuca and Birdie has been renewed with Adult Swim.
Oh my gosh, since when?
I didn't look at that. May 29th.
What? Damn. Well, now I can start.
Okay.
What are you excited for, Gabe?
Well, this sort of year with all the tragedy and delays and stuff, I just have learned not to put too many stakes and stuff, like stakes, high stakes on things. So, I don't know, like I hope
I thought you
Polish.
said pie steaks.
Me too.
Like steaks of pie.
No, I mean, I don't want to make anything high stakes. Like, I don't want to count on things to come out because I've learned too many hard lessons about that. So, I don't know. I hope Polish game studio CD Projekt Red doesn't file for bankruptcy because they're currently being sued by investors over Cyberpunk 2077. And they still haven't put it up on the PlayStation Store. So they might be in trouble. This could destroy them. But, you know, I think they can learn from their mistakes. And they were putting Poland on the map.
On the map.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably rude.
Yeah, not that many people knew about Poland up until this point.
Well, it's true. In the gaming
No, it's
industry.
not. I mean, maybe.
I don't think there's any game studios in Poland. Anyway, that's
I
just
took it literally as Poland on the map.
that's just me. That's just my kind heart hoping for the best for a giant corporation, because that's obviously where my priorities lie.
Yes, it's 2020.
Aside from that, I hope the Dune movie that comes out, I learned it was next November, not this November that just passed, starring Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. And that should hopefully be a good movie. I don't see why it won't be. From that, there was something else I thought about too. There's some new albums. St. Vincent's going to drop another album next year.
That's exciting.
She said that. No hints, but that's what I got. So hopefully that's good. Oh, I hope BioWare doesn't fuck up Mass Effect 4.
I agree. I'm so nervous and excited.
In fact, I also hope they don't mess up the remaster of the original trilogy, because it's really good to have games preserved and archived and to be playable on next generation consoles, since backwards compatibility is not really a thing anymore unless you have a computer. But yeah, if they make that, a whole other generation gets to experience what I think is like my favorite video game franchise. So that's a good thing about 2020. That's like a reason to live. Do you have any either of you have any other reasons to live that you can provide right now?
Apples.
Oh, apples. She is right behind my laptop screen right now. So
And marbles.
he pees on my floor every day. I don't think that's a reason to live.
He pees on my floor too, but I still love him.
He's a shitty boy.
Whitney, do you have a question?
Why are you rushing me?
I was just wondering if you
We're
had
at an
a
hour
question.
7.
Yeah,
So-
we're kind of talking a long time. People have places to be. Not me, our listeners, because I value them.
Sure. I do have a question. Is there anything that you wish that you could go back and experience for the first time again?
Yes.
Great. Thanks.
All right, this has been another episode of Blanket Fort Post. Um,
Well, what is it, Gabe?
I think you
What's
know
cool?
what it is. What would you think I would say?
Is it Mass Effect?
No, it's something a lot more simple than that. What I wish I could experience again for the first time? Marijuana.
oh,
No, I meant media.
Oh,
That doesn't count.
damn it.
No drugs. Gosh, we have to do media.
Okay, It's a Wonderful Life. I only watch it once a year, and if it were to be on the TV at any other time, I will exit the room because it's wrong. You watch it on December 25th after 10 p.m., and then you cry when it's over. That
I've never
movie,
seen it.
I am appalled because I truly think, And I'm not even trying to be dramatic. Like, I really think the world would be a better place if everyone watched that movie. Because yeah, like it just shows people the value of them as a person in life and what it would be like if you took that away from yourself.
There's so many good takeaways from that movie.
And then when they sing Auld Lang Syne at the end, oh, I cry every time. Every time.
So if you saw that for the first time now, how shook would you be?
I mean, the first time I saw it, I wept. Like, I wept for, like, probably 15 minutes.
But weren't you, like, 7?
No, I didn't see that until I was probably 18.
Oh, I thought it was a family tradition of yours to watch that.
I forced it on everybody since I've been 18. Since I was 18.
Gosh. I didn't know that was your idea.
And I still cry every year, but, like, nothing was like the first time when I truly appreciated the value of George Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Whitney, my answer is It's a Wonderful Life.
That is a wonderful answer.
And you are watching it later whether you like it or not. I also bought that on Amazon.
I don't want to. It's not Christmas.
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen before December 2021. You can't wait for these things now.
It's true.
I still haven't thought of a thing, but like...
You have to hurry because I might pee myself. I have to go so bad.
I'm going to answer for you if you don't answer.
I'm just going to go with Mass Effect. That's your answer.
I mean, that is a good choice. I think I'd like to re-experience apples for the first time.
Okay, I'm going to say Heavy Rain for you. That's the only
You don't even
one
like
I've
that
played.
game that much.
I'm a pretty big fan of Heavy Rain.
Yeah, but I saw your tier. It was pretty far down.
No, it was really high. It was on my near perfect list.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I confused that with Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah. Anyway,
Heavy Rain is definitely way better than Beyond Two Souls.
Heavy Rain is...
Would you like to experience that again as if you were a fresh baby into the Heavy Rain world?
Like, I guess that'd be cool, but not like my first choice.
Well, you don't have a choice. You're just sitting there talking about cats instead of media.
Yeah, well, apples is right in front of my face right now, and it's just hard to resist because she's just so pretty and kind right now.
That's another episode of Blanket for Books.
My name is Rachel.
My name is Whitney. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I waited. My name is Rachel, and you can follow me at Abrams Records on Twitter.
My name is Whitney. I am at Wit and Wisdoms on Twitter, and I have to pee.
And I'm Gabe, and you can find me at Boardseed on Twitter.
And our official Twitter is at Blanket Fort Book.
And Whitney runs all of that, so show her some love.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.